In the heart of Florida's sun-soaked landscapes, a group of African-American artists defied the odds to create a legacy. They were the Florida Highwaymen. Among them was Carnell Smith, whose brushstrokes captured the soul of the Sunshine State. This is his story, a tale of resilience, art, and inspiration. Welcome to Highwaymen Social, where every painting tells a story and every story paints a picture. Carnell Ambrose Smith was born in 1950 in Beckley, West Virginia. One of 9 children, his early life was shattered by tragedy. In June of 1959, his father, Allison Smith, fueled by moonshine, killed his mother, Fannie Bertha Lee Smith, with a crowbar in their kitchen. Allison was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Carnell, just 9 years old, and his siblings moved to Fort Pierce, Florida. There, they would live with their older sister, Christine. In Fort Pierce, Carnell found stability. At Lincoln Park Academy, teacher Zenobia Jefferson introduced him to painting, igniting a passion that became his refuge. As a teenager, he picked citrus in Florida, but art offered a path to a brighter future.
We were artists. We were like migrant workers, worked in the tomato fields, orange groves and things like that until my sister met Alfred and married him. And I was just about 14 at the time and began to live with them. And of course, he started painting.
Carnell's life changed through his sister, who married artist Alfred Hair. This connection would tie him to the heart of the Highwayman movement. Alfred Hair taught Carnell fast painting. On Upson board, using crown molding for frames, Carnell painted backgrounds, skies, clouds, waters for Hair's works.
In the run of a day, we may have done about 30 paintings, 35. I made the frames and did the background on the paintings, and several other artists that did backgrounds of the paintings. That's the way he did the production line and the assembly line. And we sold paintings everywhere and to everybody. Alfred put the details into the painting. He would come along and, put the details in boats, trees, whatever, scenery he wanted.
With artists like Al Black, he sold paintings along Florida's highways for $20 to $30.
I think Alfred would probably be a millionaire by now, and he would be talking to us, telling us about the business and what we need to do to even make more money.
I think that he would be a millionaire. He said he was going to be a millionaire in the next 5 years. And I believe that he would have been.
Alfred Hair was the visionary leader of the Florida Highwaymen. Hair's plan: paint fast, sell directly, bypass galleries. Hair's charisma inspired Carnell, but in 1970, Hair's death shook the group.
At Eddie's place, we used to all get together, all the artists, and go down, and we would meet one another there, and that's where we would all sit down and just drink beer, and shoot pool, and have fun.
Alfred was a lot of time, he walk in the bar, being Eddie's waiting on all us to come in sometime from out and just selling paintings. He'd be in there, we come in and turn in the money, and he'd say, set up the bar, set it up, give everybody a drink. And everybody be in there drinking.
Yeah, it was good times. Ain't no more times like it was back in those days. You could sit down and in Eddie's back at that, in them days, and you wouldn't run into no problems. Well, if you run into a problem, you know there was gonna be a big one.
And drinks all night for the girl and for basically everybody. But when JL came in trying to talk to her and call her, Livingston started mouthing off, that's Alfred's woman, so and so and so and so. So the man went outside and got his gun.
JL got up and walked out the door. And when he walked out the door, me, Alfred's brother, was standing there talking out there in front of the Eddie's in the yard. and JL walked back in.
I had just pulled up in front of the bar. I saw all the police cars and everybody out in the streets, and Al Black spotted me and ran out and said, Pete. I said, yeah, what's wrong? He said, Alfred just got shot. When he said that, I was like, what? He said, Alfred just got shot. I said, man, who shot him? He said, JL. And he said, where's Alfred? He said, they just took him to the hospital.
So I took Alfred's car, and we went out to the hospital. When we went in the hospital, Alfred's arm went out.
It was a scene like maybe the president had gotten shot. Now you can imagine how that would have been. And that's the way the scene was, because everybody that heard about it showed up. People was crying. White people was crying. Black people was crying. That's how you knew that Alfred had left some type of impact upon them. And they was just crying, hoping that, he wasn't dead. But he was dead. The charisma that Alfred had, you loved him no matter what. He was the type of person that you would love, because if he can do anything to help you, that's what he would do. If you'd known Alfred, nobody could believe that anybody would hurt him. This is one thing I believe, that because of Alfred's artwork and Harold and all these guys painting during that time, it brought some type of unity or bond between, Black people and white people.
After Hare's death, Carnell sought new paths. However, he continued to carry Hare's vision forward. For 1967, Carnell created masterpieces on Upson board, framed with crown molding. His affordable art captured an unspoiled Florida. By the 1990s, as the Highwaymen gained fame, his works sold for thousands, gracing prestigious collections. The group of Black artists, once known only as the landscape artists, found new life under a name that would echo through history: the Florida Highwaymen. The term Highwayman was coined in 1994 by art historian Jim Fitch, capturing the renegade spirit of these artists who, in the 1950s and 60s, sold their vivid depictions of Florida's untamed beauty from car trunks along the state's highways.
The name, the Highwaymen, just came out of nowhere, I guess.
If it's because he said we took the paintings up and down the highway selling them, well, I would say it's a legitimate name to give us.
I knew after some research about these artists' marketing techniques, they would take their paintings to the potential buyer up and down the highway. I think that the historic aspects of it are very important. They become an undeniable part of Florida's contemporary art tradition.
By the 90s, their work was gaining recognition, and Carnell emerged as a pivotal figure, bridging the group's storied past with a burgeoning appreciation for their art. Through his tireless efforts, Carnell ensured the Highwaymen's art was not just seen but understood, as a testament to resilience, creativity, and the enduring beauty of Florida. By the decade's end, their work hung in galleries, museums, and even the Florida State Capitol, with Carnell's vision lighting the way.
Now, tell me about what has contributed to the rise in popularity.
Well, basically, Jeb Bush began to recognize that we had the history in our paintings.
Yeah.
And when he saw it, we actually have paintings in the governor's mansion. So he decided that it would be a good thing to keep us around and to make sure we continue to paint the Florida landscapes, because he said we have the history of Florida in our paintings.
Right, which is so neat to see, and especially to watch, the transition from where it's gone to where it's been.
In time, he relocated to West Palm Beach, embraced Christianity, and pursued ministry. In March 1994, he married Alfred Smith, a woman who shared his faith and vision. Together, they raised a large family, blending LeFetre's 4 children with Carnell's 5, creating a vibrant household across Florida and Philadelphia. LeFetre's support was vital as Carnell balanced ministry, art, and community leadership. Their marriage, grounded in shared spiritual values, provided stability during his later years, including his battle with cancer. This family life fueled the optimism in his paintings, reflecting a man who found joy amid challenges. As Carnell Smith's life unfolded, his artistry deepened, intertwined with a profound spiritual calling. Embracing the role of pastor, he poured his faith into his work, while his studies at Nova University enriched his perspective, blending intellect with creativity. His vibrant landscapes captured not just scenery, but a resilient spirit forged through adversity. In 2004, his contributions earned him a place in the Florida Artists Hall of Fame, a testament to his enduring impact. By 2011, as president of the Highwaymen's nonprofit, Carnell led with unwavering dedication, preserving the collective legacy of these trailblazing Black artists who painted their way through segregation shadow. Until his passing in 2015, he remained a beacon of perseverance. Today, his canvases endure, each stroke a whisper of timeless Florida, proving that beauty can rise from hardship. This is the legacy of Carnell Smith, a visionary, a pastor, a true Florida highwayman, whose art continues to inspire, stretching across generations and etching hope into the heart of the Sunshine State.